electron shoots up, spins, and returns to its origin. A Swiss physicist proposed an idea along these lines: a truly extraordinary mind. You're living in a fabricated reality, and science has just proven it. What if I told you everything you know about reality is wrong? That the world around you isn't solid, but a shifting illusion, and you've been trapped in a single version of yourself without realizing it. A physicist uncovered the truth. His discovery changed everything. It proved that your past, present, and future aren't fixed. They're constantly rewriting themselves based on your thoughts, choices, and perceptions. Right now, you're living in just one timeline. But what if you could shift to a better one? A reality where you're more successful, more powerful, more limitless. The key is hidden in this discovery, and once you grasp it, you'll never see reality the same way again. Erwin Schrödinger, the man who decoded reality, didn't just revolutionize physics. He exposed a glitch in the universe. His discovery doesn't merely show how atoms behave. It proves that reality itself is an illusion bending to your perception. His famous experiment, Schrödinger's cat, isn't about a cat, it's about you. It demonstrates that existence isn't fixed, that reality is a fluid probability, collapsing into form only when you observe it. In other words, the universe waits for your mind to decide what's real. But here's what they never told you: ancient civilizations knew this. The Emerald Tablet, Buddhist scriptures, Hermetic texts, they all describe a hidden force connecting everything, an invisible source code behind existence. They understood that your thoughts don't just influence reality, they create it. Yet this knowledge was erased, suppressed, rewritten. Why? Because when people understand the true nature of reality, they become unstoppable. For centuries, institutions, science, religion, politics, did everything in their power to keep you in the dark. They conditioned you to believe you're powerless, that reality is beyond your control, that you're just a speck in a vast universe. But Schrödinger's discovery proves what ancient masters always taught. Reality isn't something you live in, it's something you shape. Have you ever felt that sudden jolt? That undeniable gut feeling that something's off? A deja vu so intense it feels like you slipped between realities. A song, a scent, a random moment rips you from the present and drops you somewhere else. Somewhere you know but shouldn't. This isn't just in your head. Time isn't what you think. We're taught it moves forward, a straight line from past to future. But what if that's not true? What if time bends loops or resets without you noticing? What if reality itself is something you're constantly shifting through? Think about those moments when time feels slippery. You wake up, go through your morning, then glitch. Your coffee spills exactly like it did before. A conversation unfolds word for word as if you've lived it already. Reality feels scripted, like you're stuck in a pattern you can't see. Now go further. Every decision you make creates a fork. Every choice splits reality into alternate versions. Each version plays out differently. In one, you took that risk. In another, you played it safe. These parallel existences run alongside each other, invisible but real. What if you could touch them? What if your dreams, vivid images of places you've never been but somehow remember, are glimpses of those other lives? What if every déjà vu, every unshakable sense of knowing what's coming, is evidence? Proof you're slipping between timelines. Here's the real shock. If every possibility exists, are you truly choosing or just following a pre-written path? Reality isn't a straight line, it's a web. Time loops, moments repeat. Alternate versions of you exist right now, just out of reach, as if a veil separates our reality from what could have been. A thin, almost invisible barrier divides us from alternate versions of ourselves, latent possibilities, and unseen timelines. But what if that veil isn't natural? What if reality, as we know it, is deliberately constrained? Imagine reality as a vast cosmic library, not of books, but of every possible outcome, every decision, every alternate history. Yet, for some reason, we're only allowed to access one page at a time, the rest suppressed, hidden, unseen. Ancient civilizations spoke of gods and mystics who could bend time, weave reality, and access other dimensions. Myths worldwide tell of cycles, time loops where events repeat until something shifts. These aren't just myths, they're echoes of a deeper truth. Every choice you make creates a ripple, splitting into different possibilities. Some versions of you made different choices. Some versions of history unfolded differently. And sometimes, just sometimes, you feel it. A fleeting moment when something feels off. A sudden spark of awareness that makes no logical sense. Scientists and philosophers have long debated whether our consciousness filters out these other realities. Perhaps it's a built-in defense mechanism, a way to keep us focused, sane, and rooted in a single timeline. Or maybe it's something bigger. Maybe we've been taught to ignore the signs. Look around. Ideas of parallel worlds, time loops, and alternate realities have appeared in mythology, folklore, and science fiction for centuries. Why? Because something inside us remembers. Something inside us knows that what we see isn't all there is. And now science is catching up. As physics unlocks the secrets of time, space, and quantum mechanics, we're closer than ever to proving what our ancestors hinted at. Reality is far stranger, far more malleable, and far less limited than we've been led to believe. But if this is true, why is this knowledge only resurfacing now? Reality isn't as solid as we think. Every moment, every choice, every action is just a thread in a vast, unseen web of possibilities. Science isn't just suggesting this, it's actively proving it. Quantum mechanics has shattered everything we thought we knew. At the smallest level, particles don't exist in a fixed state. They exist in multiple states at once, only choosing a single reality when observed. This isn't just weird physics. It's a direct clue that multiple realities coexist. Now push that idea further. What if every choice you make spawns a new reality? Each decision branches into a new timeline, where a different version of you lives out the choice you didn't make. This isn't just science fiction. The multiverse theory suggests this is how reality actually works. And the strangest part, there could be hidden connections between these alternate worlds. Think of Back to the Future, where a few changes in the past completely reshape the present. These aren't just fun ideas. They're rooted in real scientific principles. Quantum entanglement proves that particles, even separated by vast distances, remain instantly connected. Change one particle, and the other reacts immediately, no matter how far apart. If this happens at the quantum level, could it happen at the level of reality? Could different versions of you, existing in different timelines, be subtly linked in ways we don't yet understand? It gets even crazier. String theory suggests the entire universe, all possible universes, is made of vibrating energy strings. These strings don't just shape our reality, they could be shaping countless others. Different vibrational frequencies might create entirely different worlds, coexisting right beside us, invisible but real. And then there's time. Einstein's theory of relativity tells us time isn't fixed. It bends, stretches, and folds depending on speed and gravity. This means past, present, and future aren't separate. They're layered, stacked, and potentially accessible. Time doesn't just move forward. It can loop, intersect, or even split into parallel versions. This isn't just theory. It's woven into our culture. Think of Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray relives the same day until he evolves as a person. Or The Matrix, where the world we accept as real is actually an illusion. These stories resonate because, on some level, we sense they might be true. You've heard, "Beam me up, Scotty." But what if I told you quantum teleportation is already real? Scientists haven't teleported humans, but they're teleporting quantum information across distances without anything physically moving. No spaceships, no sci-fi gadgets, just pure, mind-bending physics. Here's how it works. Using quantum entanglement, researchers make one particle's state vanish in one place and instantly appear in another. Nothing travels through space. It's as if reality itself copies and pastes the information while erasing the original. But here's the kicker. If anyone tries to eavesdrop on the transfer, the data self-destructs. Translation: the universe doesn't let you spy without breaking the system. This isn't just theory. It's happening in labs right now. While human teleportation remains Hollywood's domain, the implications of quantum teleportation for cybersecurity and computing are massive. We're heading toward a future where unbreakable encryption becomes reality, where even the world's best hackers would need to defy the laws of physics to intercept a message. But now go further. Some researchers dare to ask, if quantum states can be preserved, erased, and manifested elsewhere, what does that mean for consciousness? Consider this. If a particle's information can be teleported, and if consciousness turns out to be a complex quantum process, could a mind, memories, perceptions, identity, someday be transferred across space? Right now, it sounds like pure science fiction, but quantum physics has a habit of turning yesterday's impossibilities into today's headlines. So maybe, just maybe, we're taking the first steps toward unlocking something even more profound. A reality where teleportation isn't just about moving data, but moving minds. So what does this mean for you? Some researchers believe time loops could explain déjà vu, prophetic dreams, and those strange glitches in reality. Imagine for a second you slip into a timeline that already happened. What if, in some hidden way, we're constantly jumping between slightly different versions of our own reality? And quantum computers are now pushing these boundaries further. Unlike classical computers that process data linearly, quantum computers operate in multiple states simultaneously, just like quantum particles. This means they can simulate complex multiversal systems, bringing us closer to unlocking how reality truly works. Right now, you're operating in one version of reality. But what if you could break the limits? Scientists have proven time doesn't move in a straight line. Choices don't just vanish, and alternate timelines may be real. But here's what they won't tell you. You can learn to access them. This isn't just theory. Humans have inadvertently tapped into these hidden layers of existence for centuries, through intuition, déjà vu, or those pure moments of clarity that can't be explained. But what if you could do it deliberately? What if you could shift timelines, rewrite outcomes, and consciously step into the most powerful version of your life? Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly how to do it. And once you see the truth, there's no going back. Here's how to bend reality with the hidden source code. Pay attention to patterns, synchronicities, repeating signs, and strange coincidences. They're not random. They're evidence that your energy is shaping reality. The more you notice them, the more they happen. The external world is mirroring your internal state. If your reality feels chaotic, it's because your energy is chaotic. Change your thoughts, shift your emotions, and watch the universe physically rearrange itself around you. For the next 24 hours, focus on a specific thought or symbol. It could be a particular phrase, a specific object, or an unusual image. Then observe how reality bends to bring it into your awareness. Most people will never understand this. They'll keep living in a reality dictated by external forces, never realizing they're the ones writing the script. But you now know the truth. And the next step is even bigger. Because if you can shift energy this easily, what happens when you jump entirely across timelines? What if I told you that right now, there are multiple versions of you, each living in a different reality? One version of you is stuck in old patterns. Another is thriving beyond your wildest dreams. The only difference: the choices you make today determine which version of you becomes real. This isn't science fiction. It's quantum physics. Every time you make a decision, act or stay still, you collapse countless possibilities into a single reality. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads between multiple parallel timelines. And the craziest part, you can consciously choose which one to step into. Scientists have proven that subatomic particles don't exist in a fixed state until observed. Until a choice is made, they remain in a state of pure potential, existing in multiple states at once. This is called the many worlds interpretation. It suggests every possibility already exists. You just have to step into it. Think about it: somewhere in another timeline, there's a version of you who has everything you desire: success, confidence, freedom. It already exists. So why aren't you living that life? Because most people are locked into their old identity. They believe they're trapped by their circumstances. But the moment you shift your identity, you jump into the timeline that matches it. This is the art of quantum leaping, hacking reality by stepping into the version of yourself already living the life you want. Imagine standing at the edge of time, looking into an infinite ocean of possibilities. Every moment, every decision stretches into countless timelines. Each unfolds differently. Now imagine if you could jump between them, not just as a thought experiment, but as a tangible shift in your reality. This is quantum leaping, the ability to move your consciousness from one timeline to another where circumstances shift. Sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. It's like standing in a hallway with endless doors, each leading to a different version of your life. The moment you open a door, everything changes. Alternate timelines aren't just science fiction. Every choice you make branches into a new reality, creating an existence where a different you took a different path. Ever wonder what your life would be like if you'd made a different decision? That reality still exists. The question is, can you step into it? The key lies in your mind, your focus, energy, and belief system. They determine which timeline you experience. This isn't just about looking back at what could have been. It's about leaping into the version of your life that aligns with your true purpose. So how do you do it? It starts with intentional focus. You don't just think about a different reality, you embody it. You act, feel, and decide as if you're already living there. Like tuning a radio to a specific frequency, your thoughts and emotions lock you into a new timeline. Many believe practices like meditation, visualization, and affirmations act as tools for these shifts. By aligning your energy with the reality you desire, you start vibrating at the frequency of that timeline. The more you lock into it, the smoother the leap becomes. Those who claim to have experienced quantum leaps report small but undeniable changes in their surroundings. An object slightly out of place, a memory that doesn't quite match what others recall, or entire life events unfolding differently than expected. While anecdotal, these experiences challenge what we assume is a fixed reality. The idea of quantum leaping is deeply tied to the multiverse concept, that every possible version of reality already exists. If that's true, what's stopping you from stepping into the timeline where everything aligns perfectly? Even science hints at this possibility. Quantum mechanics has proven particles exist in multiple states until observed. It seems reality is shaped by where we place our focus. If this principle applies at the micro level, why not the macro? Could your own consciousness be the key to shifting timelines? Every day, you make choices, big and small, that shape the reality you experience. But what if choices aren't just about moving forward? What if they're about leaping sideways, jumping into an entirely new branch of possibility? This idea challenges everything we've been taught about time and reality. It suggests life isn't a straight line. It's a vast web of possibilities, and you're not just a passenger. You're the navigator, the architect, the creator. But if this is true, if you really hold this power, why do so many feel stuck? That's where the influence of power structures comes in. Just as timelines shift, so do the forces shaping our world. The systems we live in, social, political, economic, all play a role in limiting or expanding our ability to shift realities. In the next section, we'll explore how breaking free from these low vibrational structures enables easier, faster, more intentional leaps between timelines. Because the moment you recognize the illusion of limitation, you step into the infinite power of choice. Here's how to quantum leap right now. Right now, envision your highest self. How do they think? How do they move, speak, make decisions? Start acting as if you're already them. Your brain can't distinguish between reality and imagination. As you embody this new identity, reality begins to shift to match it. The next time you face a choice, stay in your comfort zone or push yourself, pause and ask, what would my highest self do? The moment you choose differently, you leap into a new timeline. For one full day, live as if you've quantum leaped into your ideal reality. If you were already successful, confident, free, how would you act? Commit fully and watch the universe adjust around you. Because here's the truth, you're not stuck, you're not waiting, you're not becoming, you're already there. You just need to step into it. And if this is true, what happens when you realize institutions, society, even history, have worked to keep you from discovering this power? Because if you have the power to shift timelines and reprogram your reality, why do so many feel trapped? Why does life often feel like an endless cycle of stress, struggle, and limitation, even when we now know reality is malleable, flexible, and shaped by consciousness? It's not because some external force is holding you back. It's because most people were never taught how powerful they truly are. From childhood, we're conditioned to see reality as fixed and unchangeable. We're told to follow rules, fit in, play it safe. Over time, those beliefs become self-imposed limits, invisible barriers, keeping us repeating the same patterns. But what if the greatest shift you could ever make isn't in the world around you, but in how you see yourself? Consider this: every person you admire, visionaries, creators, world changers, they all share one thing. They see reality differently from the rest of the world. Where others see obstacles, they see possibilities. Where others see limits, they see gateways. Where others say, that's just how life is, they say, watch me change it. And here's the best part, you can do this too. Imagine if every decision you make ripples through time, creating alternate realities with each choice. Right now, you're at the center of it all. Your thoughts, actions, energy. They don't just shape your life, they shape the universe itself. Every moment, you're standing at the nexus of countless possibilities. When you make a choice, one path opens before you. But the other paths don't disappear. They keep running in parallel, forming alternate versions of your life. Some are nearly identical, others wildly different. What decides which path you step into? Your energy, emotions, mindset, vibrations. They act as the rudder of reality. If you feel stuck, like life is looping endlessly, it's not just bad luck. It's a signal, a sign you're locked into a loop, repeating the same patterns, trapped in a lower version of your reality. But here's the secret: you can shift. The moment you raise your frequency, your thoughts, your emotions, you unlock new paths. Reality around you starts to change. Doors open. Synchronicities multiply. The right people, the right opportunities start appearing like magic. Consider this every morning when you wake up. You're not just entering a new day. You're stepping into a version of reality shaped by your consciousness. How you think, feel, act, it's all sculpting the world around you in real time. And it's not just you. Everyone is at the center of their own universe. Every interaction, every conversation, every moment is a chance to influence another's reality. When you raise your vibration, you don't just change your life. You create ripples that shift the lives of those around you. This isn't philosophy. It's a profound truth most people never realize. You're not a passenger in reality. You're the architect. Every choice you make, every thought you hold, every energy you emit shapes what happens next. So how do you unlock the ultimate shift? Start now. Become hyper-aware of your thoughts. Guard your energy. Focus on what you want to create. Where attention goes, energy flows. The more aligned you are with the reality you desire, the more it starts pulling you in, like gravity. And then something incredible happens. You start noticing signs, repeating numbers, DU, synchronicities too perfect to ignore. The universe isn't random. It's responding to you. The more you step into this awareness, the more control you gain. This isn't just about you. It's about all of us. The more people awaken, the more reality itself begins to shift. A collective awakening, a ripple spreading across existence. So ask yourself, which reality are you choosing? Which version of yourself are you stepping into today? Because right now, in this moment, you hold the power to shift everything. Here's how to shift out of a stuck timeline and step into expansion. Step 1, upgrade your mental script. Stop saying, "That's just how life is." Start saying, "I'm shifting into a new reality right now." Your words aren't just descriptions. They're direct commands to your subconscious. Every time you affirm a new reality, your brain reprograms itself to see new opportunities and synchronicities. Step 2, break the autopilot loop. If your days feel repetitive, it's a sign you're living in a predictable timeline. Change it now. Take a new route. Say yes to something unexpected. Start a conversation with someone new. Make a bold decision you've been avoiding. Even small changes trigger massive ripples in your life. The moment you do something different, reality rearranges itself around your new energy. Step 3, align with the energy of your next level self. If you want to step into a higher timeline, you have to think, feel, and act like the person already living there. How does the most successful, happiest, most confident version of you behave? What decisions do they make? What do they believe about reality? The more you embody that energy, the faster reality shifts to match it. This isn't just about success. It's about expansion. It's about realizing you were never meant to live small. You were never meant to repeat the same reality over and over. You were meant to evolve, to create, to step into the infinite possibilities waiting for you. Most people will stay where they are, thinking life happens to them. But you're starting to see that you happen to life. And now it's time for the final step, the ultimate realization that unlocks everything. Erwin Schrödinger, the man who decoded reality, left us with a truth most aren't ready to accept. There's no separate you and the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself from a first-person perspective. You've been taught you're just a tiny part of this vast cosmos, a small cog in a giant machine. But what if the opposite is true? What if you're the entire universe, experiencing itself through your unique perspective? Right now, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are shaping the quantum field around you. You're programming reality, literally, with every heartbeat, every intention, every action. The entire universe is a mirror, reflecting back the energy you emit. But here's the shocker: every time you make a choice, you're not just deciding what happens next. You're creating a new version of reality. A reality where you're more powerful, more aligned, more in tune with the life you were meant to live. Imagine standing before infinite doors. Each leads to a different version of your life. The power to choose which door to open is entirely yours. And with every step, you're aligning yourself with a higher timeline. When you start seeing yourself not as a part of the universe, but as the universe itself, possibilities become endless. Your consciousness is the key to unlocking the hidden potential of everything around you. This isn't just a theory, it's ancient wisdom hidden in manuscripts, sacred texts, and even the scientific breakthroughs most people overlook. From the cryptic messages in Hermetic works to the latest discoveries in quantum physics, the truth has always been there. Reality is malleable. It bends to your focus, and in just 24 hours you'll prove it. This knowledge was once reserved for mystics, scholars, and those who dared question the nature of existence. Now it's in your hands. The ability to shift timelines, reshape your destiny, and step into an entirely new version of your life isn't locked away. It's a skill you can develop. So here's the challenge for one day: break free from the illusion of a fixed reality. Take control, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Choose your focus. What do you want to shift? A mindset, a habit, a goal, a version of yourself you've suppressed. That's your anchor. The world will rearrange itself around it. When you wake up, lock in your vision. See your day unfolding exactly as you intend. You're the creator. Every action today must align with that reality. Ancient texts and modern science agree perception shapes outcomes. What you focus on expands. Gratitude fuels manifestation. So in the morning, acknowledge what you already have while embracing the shift that's already happened. Midday, take a moment of stillness. Breathe deeply. In lost esoteric teachings, this is called the moment of alignment. In quantum mechanics, it's the collapse of the wave function, where pure potential solidifies into reality. You're not just thinking about change, you're commanding it. By afternoon, signs will appear. Subtle shifts, a conversation that fits perfectly, a door opening. These aren't random coincidences, they're confirmation. The more you notice, the stronger the effect. At night, reflect and reinforce. Ancient wisdom speaks of the observer effect. What you acknowledge grows stronger. Celebrate even the smallest shift. You've spent the day actively shaping your reality. As you lie in bed, replay the day, absorb the lessons, envision tomorrow elevated. This isn't an experiment, it's proof. The greatest minds in history hinted at this power. Scientists have glimpsed it, mystics mastered it, and today, you just experienced it. Now that you know how malleable reality is, why let it be dictated by chance ever again? Imagine stepping into a maze of mirrors. Each reflection is a different version of your reality, shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and choices. This isn't just a metaphor. It's a truth hiding in plain sight. We've been conditioned to believe we're passengers in life, following a script written by forces beyond our control. They set the rules, the rhythm, the limits. But what if that script was never real? What if you've been holding the pen all along? The moment you shift your perception, the illusion collapses. You're not just reacting to life, you're shaping it. Every moment, every decision is a fork, opening new paths, closing old ones, and shifting the reality around you. Ever notice how time feels different depending on your mood? When you're in flow, moments stretch, life unfolds effortlessly. When you're stuck, stressed, or lost in thought, time contracts, looping on itself. This isn't random. It's a reflection of your inner state. a signal of the reality you're tuned into. Time isn't a straight line, it's a series of rooms. Each holds a different version of events, a different version of you. Every thought, every belief, every decision is a key, deciding which door you step through. If life feels repetitive, like you're trapped in the same cycle, it's because you're locked into a reality looping the reflection of the energy you're holding. But here's the truth they don't want you to realize. You can change rooms. You can step into an entirely different timeline. It's not about massive external changes. It starts with a shift in perception. As you raise your energy, your choices change. As your choices change, the world around you rearranges itself. Ever had a moment where a single decision changed everything? A small shift in perspective led to a conversation, an opportunity, a breakthrough. That wasn't luck. That was a quantum shift, a step into a new version of reality always waiting for you. This is the ultimate awakening, realizing you were never just a pawn on the board. You're the player, the architect, the creator. Life doesn't happen to you. It responds to you. And now that you've seen it, what will you do with this power? Will you keep moving through the same loop, or will you step into the reality where everything aligns? Because the next door is already open. All you have to do is walk through it. Here's how to tap into your ultimate power. Step 1. Rewrite your inner story. Stop seeing yourself as limited. Affirmations like, "I am the creator of my reality," and "I am infinite," aren't just positive thinking. They're tools to reprogram your subconscious and align you with higher possibilities. Step 2. Visualize your ideal reality daily. Spend 5-10 minutes each day picturing the life you want, feeling the emotions of already having it. See yourself living that life. The more vivid the visualization, the more you collapse that possibility into your current reality. Step 3. Trust the process. Reality doesn't always shift overnight. Trust that every thought, every emotion, every action is weaving a new version of your world. Let go of the outcome and let the universe surprise you. Stay open, stay curious, and watch life start to align perfectly. When you realize you're not a passive participant in this universe, that you're a force moving mountains, bending reality, shaping destiny, you unlock a power beyond imagination. Imagine the wildest time travel movie you've ever seen. Now crank the insanity to 1000. That's the level of reality breaking we're dealing with in the delayed choice, quantum eraser experiment. It's not just that consciousness affects reality, it's that consciousness might be rewriting the past. Here's the breakdown. A photon passes through a double-slit apparatus. If you measure its path, the interference pattern disappears. If you don't, it behaves like a wave. But here's where it gets wild. The decision to measure can be made after the photon has hit the detector screen. Let that sink in. Your choice in the future decides whether the photon was a particle or a wave in the past. This isn't science fiction. This isn't some theory pulled out of thin air. These experiments are real, peer-reviewed, conducted by top physicists with ultra-precise equipment. They're exposing cracks in the fabric of time, shocking enough that even Hollywood couldn't dream them up. One interpretation. All possible histories exist simultaneously until an observer collapses one into reality. That means your past isn't fully set until you observe it. Read that again. Your memories aren't a static record. They're a real-time editor. Ancient esoteric teachings hinted at this for centuries. Tibetan monks, Gnostic texts, even philosophies buried in forgotten scrolls spoke of time as a loop, a spiral, a malleable structure. Not a straight path, but a fluid illusion shaped by perception. Think of karma, not as a cosmic scorecard, but as a quantum feedback loop where the future influences the present, choices rippling in every direction. Monks didn't write quantum equations. but they might have tapped into truth science is only beginning to measure, and the implications are earth-shattering. If your future decisions can alter the past, the entire model of cause and effect collapses. Your tomorrow is shaping your today. Ever had a gut feeling before something happens? Ever changed your mind at the last second and avoided disaster? What if that wasn't just intuition? What if your future self was sending signals back in time? Reality might be more like a choose your own adventure book, where you can flip back and rewrite earlier chapters without realizing it. Pop science calls quantum mechanics spooky and shocking, but those words don't even cut it. The real terror reality might not be real until you look at it. The argument that this only applies to tiny particles is crumbling. Scientists are actively investigating whether quantum coherence affects biological systems. Birds, plants, even human consciousness might be tapping into quantum logic. And then there's the human brain. Some physicists suspect microtubules in neurons exhibit quantum effects. If true, your mind isn't just shaped by quantum mechanics. Your mind is quantum mechanics, a constant dance of probabilities collapsing into reality. Every expectation, every belief, every ingrained assumption about life might be anchoring the future in place or rewriting the past. This isn't fringe anymore. It's not theoretical. The delayed choice experiments opened a door that can't be closed. The deeper scientists go, the more they confirm what ancient mystics knew. Now ask yourself, if timelines are malleable, who's really in control? If you're the observer collapsing reality into form, you're more powerful than you ever imagined. Society tells you to plan for the future based on a linear time model, but quantum mechanics suggests something entirely different. Your future self might already exist, observing, influencing, nudging you onto the right path. So the next time you get a strong hunch, a vivid dream, or an unexplainable gut feeling, pay attention. It might not be random. It could be your future self whispering, change course. Look closer. Reality is shifting. Quantum entanglement. Spooky action at a distance. Freaked out even Einstein. You've heard the flashy headlines: two particles, no matter how far apart, remain instantly connected. Change one, the other reacts immediately, ignoring the speed of light like it's just a suggestion. But here's what almost no one talks about: entanglement doesn't just happen between two particles. Entire networks of particles can become entangled, forming what's called multipartite entanglement. Imagine a cosmic web, trillions of invisible threads weaving through the universe. Tug one here, and another vibrates a galaxy away. A secret messaging system embedded in reality itself. And it gets stranger. Scientists now believe entanglement isn't limited to tiny particles in sterile labs. It might be happening all the time, everywhere, even inside you. Researchers studying quantum biology suggest entanglement could play a role in something as simple as your sense of smell, your body's ability to repair DNA, or how enzymes trigger chemical reactions at lightning speed. Classical chemistry alone can't explain this efficiency, but quantum entanglement might be the molecular cheat code keeping life perfectly synchronized. Dive deeper. Bell's theorem, one of the biggest breakthroughs in quantum physics, proves reality doesn't follow classical logic. No local hidden variables can explain entanglement. Translation: the universe is using a cosmic loophole, allowing information to move in ways we don't understand. The implication: reality, at its deepest level, is non-local. If that's true, the illusion of separation might be the biggest lie ever told. Consider this: if you're made of quantum particles, and quantum particles are entangled across vast distances, are you really separate from anyone or anything? What if we're all just threads in the same grand tapestry, exchanging invisible signals faster than we can perceive? Now brace yourself. This is where it gets almost mystical. Some physicists and philosophers have started asking whether entanglement could explain telepathy or collective consciousness. Ever heard of twins who know instantly when something happens to the other? Or mothers who sense their child is in danger before the phone rings? Mainstream science dismisses these as coincidences or selective memory, but entanglement shows that invisible, instantaneous connections across distance are very real. The catch: entangled states are fragile in warm, chaotic environments like the human brain. But research on microtubules in neurons suggests quantum coherence might last long enough to influence thought and perception. If so, personal boundaries might be far more fluid than we think. And it doesn't stop there. This ties into another mind-blowing concept, the holographic principle. Black hole physics and string theory suggest everything in the universe might be a hologram, not in a sci-fi sense, but in the idea that the entire universe is encoded on a vast boundary layer, like a cosmic hard drive. Here's where it gets insane. In a hologram, every part contains the whole. If our universe is holographic, entanglement might be the fundamental glue holding it all together. Every particle, every mind, every event, all connected, all instantly accessible. Suddenly, the ancient saying, "We are all one," isn't just a spiritual cliché, it's quantum mechanics. Ancient traditions spoke of a cosmic consciousness, a single mind experiencing itself through countless perspectives. Entanglement might be the scientific backbone of that spiritual truth. If every thought, every emotion, every intention affects the web of reality, maybe you're not just observing the universe, you're shaping it. So what does this mean for your daily life? It means every action, every thought, every vibration you emit might be tugging quantum threads, shaping connections and events in ways you can't see. Maybe sending "good vibes" isn't just a feel-good phrase. It could be a literal function of the universe. Entanglement was once considered too bizarre to matter in daily life. Now it's looking more like the hidden force behind everything. And the biggest twist: the next time you think your thoughts are private, remember this: at the quantum level, separation is an illusion. We're all entangled. Now let's rip reality apart and dive deep into parallel universes, aka the many worlds interpretation, MWI of quantum mechanics. Physicist Hugh Everett first proposed it, and it's been blowing minds ever since. The core idea: every time a quantum system faces a choice, reality doesn't pick one outcome. It splits, creating a new universe for every possibility. Picture a cosmic hydra: cut off one head, and millions more sprout. Every event, from which way a raindrop falls to life-changing decisions, happens in some version of reality. That random call you answered? There's a universe where you ignored it, and maybe that choice set your life on a completely different path. But here's where it gets personal. Some physicists suggest you're not just living in one reality, you're constantly splitting across countless timelines. Your consciousness is locked into one branch, but there are infinite other yous out there experiencing different versions of your life. Maybe one is thriving beyond imagination. Another is struggling with challenges you've been lucky to avoid in this branch. And then comes the real shocker: quantum immortality. From your perspective, you never die. Why? Because your consciousness only ever perceives the branches where it keeps existing. Darker possibilities, where things go wrong, you never experience those endings. But in other branches, those around you might be mourning a less fortunate version of you. This theory forces a complete rethink of death. Does consciousness simply leap across timelines to ensure its own continuity? Ancient mystics might call this reincarnation reloaded. Not an afterlife in a distant future, but an instant shift into a timeline where you keep going. Eastern philosophies have long described reality as an illusion, an endless dream of shifting experiences. Sound familiar? Maybe quantum physics is just catching up to ideas ancient traditions already grasped. And here's where things get truly wild. Some of the most esoteric traditions claim highly trained individuals can jump between realities using deep visualization, meditation, or ritual. Sounds crazy. Entanglement sounded crazy too until it was proven. Maybe reality shifting techniques are just ways to hack the cosmic code, consciously choosing which branch of existence you step into next. If that's true, destiny isn't final, no matter where you are in life. There's a version of you thriving in another branch. The key: you don't leap just by wishing. But if consciousness plays a bigger role than mainstream physics admits, maybe your mindset, beliefs, and actions decide which branch you land in. Some believe strong intention, deep emotional resonance, and clear visualization can pull you toward a specific reality. Sounds mystical, sure, but even MWI was once considered sci-fi until it became a serious contender in quantum physics. Skeptics argue MWI is unprovable, that multiplying universes for every decision just complicates things. But it solves major issues in quantum theory, like wave function collapse. Instead of saying reality picks one outcome, MWI says all outcomes happen. The simplest answer might just be infinite timelines. Now combine this with entanglement, and things spiral into true insanity. Entanglement already suggests particles stay connected across space and time. But if infinite branching is real, entangled states could stretch across countless parallel realities. Imagine a cosmic network linking all versions of you together. Those flashes of intuition, déjà vu, gut feelings, maybe they're echoes from parallel selves reaching across the divide. And that brings us to the biggest question. Can you align with these other versions of yourself? If you're the observer shaping your own reality, can you consciously shift timelines? Because in a multiverse, everything imaginable and everything beyond imagination is already happening. The only question is, which version of reality are you choosing? Now let's push reality to its absolute limits, where quantum computing, consciousness, and the simulation hypothesis collide in a way that makes even the boldest minds uneasy. Quantum computing isn't just an upgrade from classical computers, it's a complete paradigm shift. It harnesses superposition and entanglement to process information in ways that make traditional computing look like an abacus. But here's the real shocker in theory. A full-scale quantum computer could simulate entire quantum systems, potentially up to the size of the universe itself. Let that sink in. If that's true, the line between base reality and simulated reality doesn't just blur, it vanishes. This catapults us straight into the simulation hypothesis. Thinkers like Nick Bostrom argue that if an advanced civilization could create hyper-realistic simulations of their ancestors' worlds, statistically, we're more likely to be in a simulation than in base reality. But now add quantum mechanics to the equation, and things get even wilder. What if our entire universe, every galaxy, every thought, every moment, is a massive quantum wave function being processed by some hyper-advanced quantum simulator? And the real kicker, that simulator might not be alien at all. Some speculate that our collective consciousness, or even future humanity, could be the architect of this grand simulation. That means we're both the players and the programmers, just veiled behind a curtain of amnesia to keep the simulation feeling real. Sounds insane, maybe, but don't forget quantum physics already tells us observation shapes reality. Consider this in a video game. The world isn't rendered until the player looks at it. Game engines save processing power by only creating what's needed. Now compare that to the wave function collapse in quantum mechanics. Reality doesn't have a definite state until it's observed. The parallel is undeniable. What if your world is being rendered on demand, coded from the inside out? And what about all those glitches? Deja vu, the Mandela effect, synchronicities, small cracks in the code or subtle reminders that this reality isn't as solid as it seems. But now go deeper. The spiritual angle. If consciousness itself is quantum, maybe every mind is a node in a vast cosmic neural network, like individual neurons in a universal brain. This doesn't just align with the idea of a higher intelligence. It syncs with ancient philosophies that always described reality as a dream, an illusion, or a projection of consciousness. Eastern traditions say the greatest illusion is separation. Quantum mechanics shows that, at the deepest level, everything is entangled. If that's true, your mind isn't separate from the universe. It's woven into its very fabric. Some esoteric traditions even speak of a meta-simulation, a reality designed for infinite self-discovery, where every possibility plays out, allowing consciousness to experience itself in every form. And here's where it gets truly wild. If reality is a quantum simulation, you have the power to hack it. Every focused thought, every deep intention, every emotional state might be an input command to the system. Think about how quantum computing works. Superposition allows multiple possibilities to coexist until a final state is chosen. Now apply that to reality. When you fully commit to a belief or vision, you're collapsing the wave function of possibilities, tilting the odds in your favor. This isn't just philosophy. Even mainstream psychology acknowledges that beliefs and expectations shape perception and outcomes. But what if it's more than mindset? What if your consciousness is actively programming the quantum field? Yes, it's a big leap. Yes, it's not fully proven. But quantum mechanics, entanglement, and consciousness are all pointing in the same direction. We're standing on the brink of the greatest discovery in human history, or the biggest paradigm shift of all time. The only difference lies in the questions we dare to ask and the experiments we choose to run. And this is where you come in. If you're feeling a rush or a shiver running through you right now, that's the point. The rules of reality are no longer stable. The foundation of existence is up for debate, and you're not just a bystander. You're a quantum participant, a programmer inside the system. So now it's time to close this chapter and return to normal, accepting the reality you've been given, or wake up to the possibility that everything, literally everything, is a grand cosmic design waiting for you to shape it from within. The choice, as they say, might already exist in countless parallel forms, but only you decide which one becomes real. If you've made it this far, you're not just watching, you're awakening. You're starting to see beyond the surface, past the limits they've set, and that's exactly what they don't want. But here's the truth: reality isn't fixed. It's yours to shape. And now you know the tools to do it. So let's make it official. Drop a comment below with "Quantum Activated" to let me know you're one of the few who made it to the end. Let's see how many of us are truly stepping into our power. And here's something even bigger. I'm launching a private newsletter packed with next-level insights, hidden knowledge, and mind-expanding truths you won't find anywhere else. Here's the deal: the first 100 people to sign up get exclusive access and something special when it launches. Stay tuned for big things coming. The quantum field is yours to tap into. Master it, and reality bends in your favor. See you in the next one.